Hi YouTube. So as I said in my first video, I was going to do a what's in my bag. In this case it's what's in my case and what's in my bag video. I have here the Lowe Pro 208W slingshot, and this case is the Nanuk 925 hard case. I went with Nanuk instead of Pelican because they have a couple of better things than Pelican in my opinion. One is the latches. They're just, I can open it one-handed, not a big deal. Anyways, back to the gear. So I will go through my stuff in my lenses and my camera, and then I'll go into my lighting. So all of my light stuff is in my bag. So to start, I shoot with the Nikon D90. It is a very, very good camera. I highly recommend it, considering now it's quite cheap. When I bought it a couple years ago, it was basically what the D7000 sits at now. It doesn't have weather sealing in the magnesium alloy body, it's all plastic. But all of my photos I shoot now is with this camera, and I have no complaints. The only thing I would change is, of course, the weatherproofing and all that. And the 1/8000th of a shutter speed would be nice, but what can you do? On my body that I always have when it's in the case is the 17 to 55 DX f2.8 lens. I got this lens because I didn't want to be switching in between lenses all the time, as you'll see from my other lenses I have. This is a very good all-around lens. I can take it on walks with me now, and I don't have to be switching between a whole bunch of lenses to do different things. Very good lens, very quiet, perfect all-around lens, especially when you do a lot of landscapes. The 17 is perfectly fine for me. So that is my camera. I'll just move this out of the way. So that is the D90 with the 17 to 55 DX. I also have for the D90 the Nikon battery grip. Very good grip. I use it pretty much anytime I'm doing portraits, or almost anything really. It's nice to have the extra portrait shutter button. Anywho, that's that. In here hiding quickly, extra battery. I'll be going to Arizona pretty soon, so I have in my camera already, I have a 16GB Extreme Pro SanDisk SD card, and I have another one in my camera, so that should be good for the trip. I also have a Extreme 3 4GB and just a cheap 8GB that I got as a gift. Anyways, back to lenses. I have here the 35mm f1.8G. It was very useful in my studio. It's also very good for just a walk-around lens if you're doing photography and don't want to have a big honking lens on your camera. It's really lightweight, feels really plasticky, doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but I would probably say this is my least favorite of all of my lenses, just because the feel, it's pretty cheap plastic, but optically and what it produces, it's a very, very, very good lens. One of my favorites. This is the 50mm f1.4D. I don't even think they make this anymore. this is a spectacular lens. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a 50. They're incredible lenses. I started with the 1.8D, and then when I wanted better bokeh, I went up to the 1.4. I don't really want to upgrade to the G version. I like kind of the old lenses. It would be nice to have a lens hood, but what can you do? I 9 times out of 10 when I do a portrait shoot, this is always what I use. Yeah, just phenomenal lens. Can't say much more about that. Now I'll get that one in a second. Oh. Now this I call my hand grenade. This is the 105 macro VR. An outstanding lens. I love doing macro photography, as I said in my introduction, and this is a dynamite lens for that. I love the VR. Lots of people were skeptical about why you need a VR. You're using a tripod all the time for macro. But I love the option of not needing my tripod. I sometimes don't want to lug it around with me, and sometimes it's really a big pain in the butt to be carrying around your tripod chasing dragonflies or whatever. So I like being able to use this handheld. I've gotten some great shots with it handheld, so no complaints there. It is sharp as a tack. I love this lens. Cannot recommend this lens enough. But yeah, it's a very, very, very good lens. Very good lens. I'll put that there. And the newest lens I have now is the 85 f1.4D with its lovely metal lens hood. I just recently got this lens about a week ago, and it is phenomenal. I had a friend come over and we did a quick portrait shoot with it, just so I could test it out, and this guy's going to definitely fit in very, very well with the rest of my lenses. My 50 compared to this, I like how wide this is sometimes, because even sometimes I have to switch to the 35, or else I'll back up into tables and walls and stuff inside. So if I can get away with it, I usually use my 50, just because I like it better than the 35, and it's f1.4. But this, I don't know how well I can use this inside, but it is probably going to be my go-to portrait lens if I have room. If I don't have room, I'll go back to my 50. So that's this. I'll do a review of this lens probably next, just because it's new. I haven't done a review of this yet. So that is the 85. And this is just my USB cable. I store it in there now. It fits under my macro, and I can carry my flash in here if I need to. But I will get onto that now. Get that out of the way. So here I have what I was using before. This is my Lowe Pro 200 AW, as I was saying. So in here I have my SB600 first flash I got with the diffusion dome. It's a good flash. It's a good flash. The controls are quite awful compared to other flashes, but it's a cheap flash. What can you do? I like this flash. It's good for fitting into small places, and it's lightweight, and it fits in my case, which I love. So it being small is a huge bonus, but it could be better, obviously. But it's a beginner flash, and I highly recommend getting one of these if you're doing portrait, because it definitely does kick your portraits up a notch if you know how to use it. If you couldn't be bothered by a flash, well, that's fine. So I have one SV600, and then the big boy, whoops, filters. I have the SP900 as well. So I usually use this as my main light, and then this as a fill. I will make a other video that will cover the lighting gear I have. I haven't actually written a review of all of that stuff really, but I could go over that in another video. So yeah, SB600, SB900, these are just the gels. I keep it in this thing because it also has the gel holder and the diffuser dome that comes with it, and it just protects my lens, sorry, flash. And then I can fit my batteries and random things in here. I have my charger. I just recently moved out of my apartment, and I just stuffed the SB600 case in here because that might be what I have. So yeah, that's pretty much my gear. But I replaced the spot in my case and put this 85 in because I am selling my Tokina 11 to 16 millimeter f2.8 yada 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 Pro SD lens. This is a amazing lens. I love it so much, but it, to me, is very specialized for basically unobstructed landscapes for me. So if you ever need to zoom in a little to compose a little better of a shot, to get like tourists out of the way, things like that, the 17 to 55 is my go-to lens for that. If I'm taking pictures of like a canyon, I was doing that 2 summers ago in Alberta, Canada, and this was amazing to have, but it was, again, nothing was in your way. You wanted the whole entire, well, as much as you could see view with minimal distortion. This is the lens. I just don't use it enough now to warrant keeping it around. I wish I could keep the lens, but I just don't use it quite enough to justify having it kick around in my case. But yeah, it's a very good lens, and I'm just currently in the process of selling this guy. So in theory, I do have 6 lenses now, but I really only need at least 3 of them. So anyways, that is my gear. I will definitely go through a review of my case, but that's what I have in my bag and in my case.